Simple. Cluster. Pollination. Flies. Butterflies. Beetles. Bats. Hummingbirds. Specialist. Generalist. Composites. Clusters. Flower arrangements. Pollination. Stigmas. Ovary. Ovules. Oh my gosh, there's just so many! Wow, that was a scary dream. Thankfully, it was just a dream. There are so many things to learn about flowers and pollinators and the relationships between the plants and animals, but it's actually quite fun. And whenever I have a scary dream, and whenever I want to have some fun, I like to think of a game. So today, we are going to play a game about pollination. And to make all those things that might be keeping you or me awake at night a little more simple and easier to understand, with our game, we're going to review different combinations of pollinators and flowers and see which combination is the best at pollinating or which combination is the best at making seeds. For this activity, you're going to need some materials. I have those materials right here, and just about all of them you should be able to find in the kitchen. Ask your parents before you take anything. So, what do you need? You need some cups. 5, 7, plastic or tin. Don't take glass or ceramic or anything that can break. You need some cups. You need some paper. Some small, thin strips of paper. You need some balls. Smaller is better and softer is better. You're going to be tossing these inside the house. So small and soft. Smaller and softer. And if you have varieties of sizes, that's even better. And finally, if you're having trouble finding too many balls, I just rolled up this sock, and a rolled up sock can work just as good as a ball for this game. Finally, you're going to need 2 bowls. They could be bowls, they could be pots, just 2 things that are much, much bigger than the cups. There you have your materials. So pause the video right now and talk to your family and get your materials. I'm back. You're back. Hopefully you have your materials. If you don't have your materials, check in with your parents at the end of this video because you'll need the materials to do the lesson and the activity. There are 5 stations to this activity. It's possible there's some bonus stations, but there are 5 stations. You're going to go from station to station, and you are going to make the station, and you're going to play a game at each station. At each station, your goal is to make as many seeds as possible. What have we learned about how seeds are made? We need to get some pollen from one flower into the ovary of another flower of the same kind. So what do we have here that could be the pollen, and what do we have that's the ovary? The balls are going to be the pollen with the sperm inside, and the ovaries are going to be the bowls or the cups. So with each activity, your goal is to try to get the ball into the bucket, into the cup. At each station, there will be 2 flowers. You will be flower number 1, and the bowl or cup will be flower number 2. Flower number 2 is the same kind of flower that you are, but a different individual. How do we make seeds? By throwing or blowing the pollen from flower number 1 to flower number 2. To play the game, there's going to be some rules. Each station is going to have rules that are only true for that station, but there are 2 rules that are the same for all of them. The first rule is the distance rule. Flower number 1 should be far enough away from flower number 2 that this game is challenging and fun. So to make it challenging and fun, usually about 10 steps between flower number 1 and flower number 2 is a good distance. Rule number 2, What is successful pollination? And what about bouncing? In order for a real flower to make seeds, pollen from one flower needs to get to the ovary of another flower. Where is the ovary on a flower? The ovary is at the bottom of the flower. So, as you toss the balls, if the pollen hits the bottom and bounces out, some sperm still made it to the bottom. So that throw would count because the pollen hit the bottom and bounced out. On the other hand, if your throw hits the side of a bowl or the side of a cup and bounces out, or hits the outside bottom, that did not make it inside to the ovary, so it will not count. So if it hits the bottom, it counts. If it doesn't hit the bottom, it doesn't count. So now that we know the two rules, the distance rule and the what counts and what doesn't count, the last thing we need to know is how to play the game. At each station, you'll have 10 tries, so you'll have 10 tosses of the ball to get it into a cup or into one of the bowls. As you are throwing, keep track of the number of throws and the number of misses. When you've done your 10 throws, record your information on your data sheet, make sure your information is fully recorded, and then move on to the next station. When you've finished all of the stations, answer the questions at the bottom of your data sheet. So now you're ready to play. Gather your materials and find a good place to work in your home. Go to Add Response on the activity so that you can look at the data sheet that you'll be filling in as you go. Go to the next video on this playlist, which gives you the specific instructions for station number 1, complete the station, and then move on to station number 2. Good luck, have fun playing the game. I wonder which type of pollination is going to make the most seeds. Have fun playing the game, have fun learning which type of pollination makes the most seeds.